room with the Brokedowns.
True.
Thank you, fellas, for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
And if we could, because we do this on audio too, if we can start down here and just say your name and what you do in the band.
John, bass,
You sing too, right?
and sing.
Yeah.
He's got
That's
low
kind of the
self-esteem.
critical
He's
part.
got really low self-esteem. He downplays everything.
Mustafa. I play drums.
Chris, I play
Well, see,
guitar. Oh, Eric.
Yeah.
I'm Eric. I play guitar and I sing.
And I'm currently watching The Secret Life of Pets. I'm Chris. I play guitar and sing. No, I don't sing that much. I sing a little.
A little.
Who the fuck are the Brokedowns?
And John started this shit like how long ago?
Oh, probably when I was like 15. It was kind of under a different thing though. This like our band, the Brokedowns, as we are now, has been around for what?
2002.
2002.
Yeah. That's kind of like the actual serious point.
2002 long, if you ask me.
Serious.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Serious.
Serious. Yeah,
That's when we got real
serious as we are now.
serious and honed our craft. Worked it like clay.
So most of you guys are from the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all are.
All are.
They're like Carpentersville, Sleepy Hollow, Algonquin.
Yeah.
And Eric was Algonquin too. Right, Eric? Yeah, Algonquin.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Down by the river?
Yeah. Hey, wait, that's your neck of the woods too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: when was the first time you heard of the Brokedowns? We're flipping the interview.
Oh,
Hey,
unprecedented.
I'm here with members of the Brokedowns. Like Felumlee. No, but yeah, same neck of the woods.
I first heard of the Brokedowns probably
2 hours ago.
I think it's probably 2003, 2004.
Sounds about right. Oh, see, it's after I joined the band. See what
Probably
happens?
once Mustafa was in the band. Before that, I had no idea.
Cool.
They were.
Why would you?
But,
Yeah.
what led you to wanting to form the Brokedowns? So Moose wasn't original.
I was
not
the
original?
last guy to join. Chris was the last guy to join before me.
Yeah.
He was, but I mean, like I'd always known Moose. I'd known Moose for like
We went to the same school.
like
We went to
Dundee
Dundee
Crown.
Crown High School.
I met John when he was 14 and I was 18, so
That was what
You like hated him?
I was
I hated
repulsed
14-year-olds.
immediately.
Hated
Just, like,
14-year-olds.
disgusted by him.
No, didn't you?
But you really I was though, because that was a weird age. I really was disgusted by you because when you're 18 and you're in
Yeah.
a world with 14-year-olds,
Right,
that's fucked
right.
up.
It
But when
is.
I joined the band, I was like 22 and you were 18. That's different.
Right.
But when you're 18 and you're kicking it with a 14-year-old, it's like, fuck
Right,
you.
right.
What am I doing with
Totally,
you?
man.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome for me. It fucking sucked for you.
For you, you're like,
Hey, can you buy me smokes,
this dude,
man?
yeah, I'm gonna buy
Hey,
cigarettes.
Hey, oldie, can you buy me some
Hey,
smokes,
the oldies are not goodies.
No, it is a world of difference, like that whole thing. Do you remember that one time? Oh my God, it's like embarrassing because I'm 33 now. But we played in, I think, Pierre, South Dakota, and we played with like those two guys. And like the one guy who had like kind of that whole like early 2000s like the hair was like into say like
The
a lip
beaver
ring.
kind of hair thing.
Yeah, and the lip ring and stuff. And then he's like, "There's gonna be a lot of young kids at this show." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, man." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, man." He's like, "It makes me feel weird because I'm old." I'm like, "Old? I mean, shit, we're not 30." And he's like, "I'm 32." And I was like 20. I was like 20, 21, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, and I remember being like, and "This guy's playing a shitty show at 32 years old." Like, oh my God, he didn't like kill himself by now. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, I better not be doing this shit when I'm 32 years old. And I'm like, I'm still
There's
like
an interview I was
18-year-old.
watching online of the Rolling Stones being interviewed in like 1973 or something, like 72, and the interviewer is like, how are you guys gonna keep up with like T-Rex, and how are you gonna like keep up with Mark Bolan? And they're like, dude, we're fucking done in a year. Like the Stones are like, we're not gonna be doing this when we're fucking 40. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
But I did wonder, like, you guys, you're a little bit younger than I am, so, like, what bands were you into that made you want to do, like, punk rock as a thing?
Ooh, good question.
Well,
A lot of them, I mean.
when I joined the band, me and John's ambitions were pretty like we just liked local bands a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of local
Smoking
bands.
Popes, have you ever heard of them? And
I don't know if you ever heard
like
of
Hoboken,
Yeah,
Oblivion,
loved
like
Hoboken,
fucking loved
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Oblivion was great.
I liked a band called Trepanation.
Trepanation, yeah.
I liked the Broadways, of course, and like
Slapstick
Tricky
was
Dick,
one of my
Veil.
favorites as a kid.
you know, Dylan. When I first heard Dillinger 4, I kind of lumped them in with local stuff because they were like Minneapolis guys.
They were kind of like a local band.
but they played so much in Chicago at like the Fireside and everything, and
Yeah.
I remember seeing D4 like 6 times in
Yeah.
1 year.
like
it-
Dillinger
it-
4. Like when I got into them, I got into them so hard.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
to me they were so different than a lot that I was hearing at that time, and
Yeah.
they just fucking ruled. You know?
Yeah.
So they made some of my favorite albums of that period. Definitely huge influence.
Yeah.
You know, plus all the the general stuff at that time, all the other
Right.
everything at that time.
We got into shit in like the the 90s when like the Fireside was like awesome and
yeah.
there was just a million cool bands. Then in hindsight there were a lot of really, really bad bands.
Yeah.
They just like
Oh, I liked a ton
so
of
many-
bad bands at that time too.
I liked a lot of really bad stuff.
Don't say it. Don't
Don't
list
name 'em.
any.
But you got no. I'm just saying like there were so many bands and so many people going to shows that a lot of like, boy, I'm just gonna dig a deeper hole. No, every band we named.
Well,
Those are the ones.
I was also like I would see a lot of the same bands listed like on a Fireside sheet or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, and like so there would be some bands where I'd like it would take me a while to realize I didn't like them because they were always playing
Totally.
with bands that I liked, and I'm like. That that'd take a while, then the excitement would go away. Like, and I'd be like, "Oh, when are these guys going to be done?" But they were still big to me because then they're still popular bands and stuff, and I could like deal with it. I just realized they weren't the bands I was listening to outside of watching them play.
I remember thinking
But
I
loved
remember
a lot of
thinking,
it.
especially as a young guy, as a really young guy, that all these bands lived off of it.
Yeah,
I thought
same
that as
here.
a semi-old guy
Yeah,
too. Like,
seriously, not even
Yeah.
young. I mean, like I thought, like for sure, like Hoboken, like for sure lived off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
a big band.
To me, they
yeah.
were like massive.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But you know, what, and it's funny.
Yeah, that's what I thought about, like Sludgeworth.
Right,
I remember
right.
seeing
See,
Sludgeworth at
Sludgeworth is a great
McGregor's, and like
example.
they're
Right.
huge. Like these
Right.
guys they must be making tons of money.
Yeah.
I remember the
that's
first
what I-
time
I
we
thought
ever
they were
like went on
massive.
tour and were like 1,000 miles from the house or whatever and talking to people about Chicago bands and just being totally fucking because there was no internet, not the way it is now. What was popular away from Chicago, like everyone would be talking about like Screeching Weasel or something like that. It's like, but what about like Oblivion?
Yeah.
Like you don't know who Oblivion are? Like that's the band you should have
Right,
like. It blew my mind that like no one knew these bands. So
Right.
yeah, we're pretty lucky. I mean, they had some cool shit then, but
But yeah, I used to always think like bands that would play at the Fireside would be like living off of it, and like they'd also be hanging out with, they'd be hanging out with, like No Doubt, shit like that. But also, I mean, that's kind of you guys' fault too, because I think I was in 8th grade, when Popes were on the Clueless soundtrack or whatever, and then my best friend's older sister had like a Smoking Popes, and she got us into the Popes. And then you guys, had this like there was like I remember that like a poster for you guys over at the Sam Goody at Springhill Mall, and stuff like that. And then I was like, yeah, they're from around here. So like, and then any band from around there, especially like you'd play with all these bands that didn't get that type of success. I just thought you guys were all rich, you know what I mean? So it was always like a big deal. Like, and then reality got crushed as I got a little older.
yeah, my first like punk show, my first like DIY punk show, I'd seen like other like bigger things at like things, but my first like DIY show was the Smoking Popes and Hoboken in Crystal Lake above a shoe store or like a boot fixing place or something.
Wow.
I got beat up by a skinhead. I was 14.
Wow.
A skinhead like sprained my wrist. Like, I got beat up by like a 25-year-old dude. I was like, what? I'm a child.
That was downtown Crystal Lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a benefit show.
Charging houses.
Charging hoses.
Geyser.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
Geyser.
Yeah.
Holy
I think
shit!
Geyser, like Glenn Porter from the Alkaline Trio,
Yeah.
was the drummer of Geyser.
Geyser.
Yep.
The guy Mario was the singer, I remember.
Yes.
And a skinhead beat me up, and Matt Vecchio from Contraside carried me to a
What a-
Baskin Robbins
what a
and called my
sweetheart.
parents and sat and waited for me. I was like, he was like, It's not always
dude's
like
so
this,
nice,
dude.
too.
It's not always like this. You're not going to be assaulted by adult skinheads
Yeah.
every time you go to concert.
So did he actually beat you up or just like knock
Dude,
into you?
I was just standing there and this like adult male fucking threw me. Like, cause I was little, and he fucking threw me and I landed and sprayed my wrist. And then he kicked me a couple times.
It seemed like there was a lot more interaction.
Didn't a guy try to sell you a gun?
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
I still remember
skinheads
that
back
even at the
then.
Arlington Heights Knights of Columbus and stuff. I saw the dude from the Feds beat the crap out of like a fucking skinhead there.
Yeah. For the Bowling Ken?
Ken.
Okay,
Ken,
yeah.
Oh yeah. He like
Yeah, there were
smashed the dude with the
skinheads. There
fucking
used to
mic
be
stand.
it used to be fucking
There's
scary.
like a presence of skinheads. The first show I ever went to was the Big Show 2 in Elgin, which was slapstick Bo Weevils. That was like the first show I ever went to. It was like Hash Brown and shit.
Nice.
Smoking Popes didn't play that?
I don't know if you guys played the second one. I
At
think
the
you-
Wonderland?
Yeah, the Wonderland Ballroom.
I don't think we ever
I
played
don't
there.
think you were on that one if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I used to be. It was you guys would have been way younger, but a lot of my friends used to go to Naked Ray Gun shows like early in the '90s, and like I was afraid to go.
Yeah.
Because the Ray Gun show, like, they had a ton of skinheads showing up at the Ray Gun shows all the time, and I was like scared.
Yeah.
So like, little 15-year-old kid from Crystal Lake, like, I'm not going to the city to go to the Naked Ray Gun concert. So I don't think I still have never seen them.
I remember I was at the Turner's Club and a skinhead tried to sell me a gun.
Yeah, that's
outside
what I was
the
gonna
Turner's
do.
Club. And I was seriously 15.
I thought you were saying I was seriously considering.
I was like, well, let's see your prices. Let me price check that with Shotgun News. What? It's 300% markup, you asshole.
No. Talk to me when you're reasonable.
Yeah, hey, Merle, call me when your prices come down.
I remember
I'd love
Moose-
to buy your guns. But...
Speaking of music, Moose in high school was like really into No Doubt. I remember that.
But because I mentioned it earlier, what an asshole.
Yes.
Now
okay,
now
it's
it's like because
all
they're
right.
always
It's
on my
all right.
mind.
It's all right.
I reference
No, it's
them
all
all
right.
the time for
Dude,
anything.
you're like a kid, man.
There you
Who
go.
gives a fuck?
You see these lights over here? It reminds
You
me
were
of that
into cool
Live in the
shit,
Tragic
too.
Kingdom tour.
You were into cool shit too, but you did like that.
Yeah. Oh, I also love the Voodoo
This
Glow
kind of
Skulls a lot.
tension right now really reminds me of Gwen and Tony Kamala.
His name's Tony Canal. Okay.
I'm sorry. That's pretty fucking close.
Wow.
All right, I'll do the final question. But the last question, and it's asked of everybody. You've already answered it once. I can't remember what you said.
Okay.
One word, describe your rock room experience.
Croissant.
Awesome.
I'm going to say LaCroix.
I'm gonna say La Croix.
You can't see it.
I don't know, it felt like hotter. Was it hotter this time? And it's like nicer outside than it was the last time.
None of that is one word.
And then what was that? Pally's on Mr. Shows, like the Goodfellas ripoff. Like, and then that was Tommy one time. They called him that because he only said things one time. He's like, "Jeez, it stinks." The guy's like, "What?" And he's like,
So hotter is your word.
"Yeah, hotter,
Hotter.
yeah." And you can take that any way you want. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I have lost a couple pounds.
There you go. Sweat that out.
I've actually gained a few pounds, but
Sauna, yeah. It wasn't that bad. It's
In the
nice
midst of
now.
us.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, between like
You look
the
good.
heat that comes off of just me and this guy. This guy's funny.
He does not sweat.
Yeah, he
I'm a
doesn't
little
sweat.
sweaty.
And like, if you
You're
look
not.
at his arm and legs, it's like that of a skinny guy's. He's
Yeah,
like
I do
that.
have skinny guy legs.
Yeah,
Look at that.
he's like he can fool you. Yeah, look at that. That's
They're
like
really
skinny.
not.
I got tree trunks.
all right.
They're not proportional.
I got tree trunks.
Mine are skinnier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
look
but
at-
you have the body to match those ankles. Look at me. I'm a goddamn, I look like fucking.
He's like a pear on a
I'm like
toothpick.
Andre the Giant with these stupid ass ankles of mine.
All right, well, thank you very much, Brokedowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for rocking with us.
Thanks for having us.